guys, before we get into this video, I just wanted to show you what I'm working on today. So I'm recreating this do-rag, but instead I'm making it longer. So this piece is worked with double crochets. For materials, I'm using a 8mm crochet hook and 4 weight worsted yarn. You're also going to need scissors and tape and a tape measure and stitch markers. And I will link in the description box the bonnet pattern that inspired this pattern. So yeah, I just wanted to introduce myself so you guys could know who's the face behind Knitters with Attitudes. So my name is Isabel, but I would prefer if you call me B. My pronouns are they, she. So I am a New York City based fiber artist. I knit, I crochet, I embroider, and I sew by machine and by hand. I've been knitting for 7 years, crocheting for 5, embroidering for 4, and sewing for 3. As you can see, I have picked up one type of fiber art, and then the following year, I pick up another, and I try to master it. So I'm not only a fiber artist, I am a crochet and knit designer. I love making clothes, and I also make a little bit of origumis here and there. I also create actual art, not just fashion. The current series that I'm working on is a family portrait series, tracking my genealogy and our family history. So here's actually the first portrait that I ever made of my family. It's me and my grandparents during my high school graduation. And the second portrait that I'm working on is of my mom when she was in her kindergarten graduation. I'm actually working on a video for that right now, so I'm hoping to get that released after this one. And it just details the process, the thought behind it, my methodology, why I did it in the first place. I'm an Aries sun, Aquarius moon, Taurus rising, so all the good vibes, all the best vibes. I do have other hobbies outside of fiber arts, astrology being one of them. I fear that my other hobbies are also old lady adjacent. I love to read, I love writing, and I love dancing and singing. I'm currently a grad student, so I'm not doing a lot of reading for fun. It's more reading because I have to. But I also love writing nonfiction and fiction, like creative writing. I love making poetry. I also really love journaling and doing that self-reflection type of thing. I really feel like it helps me connect with myself even more. I'm actually currently using this app called the Finch app that is supposed to be self-help, but I've seen other people describe it as an app for people with ADHD. Either way, I think it's really wonderful. And not to sound like an advertisement, but I would highly recommend the app. I really enjoy it. So for dancing, during my high school and then undergraduate years, I used to be a cheerleader, and then also I was on my undergraduate's hip-hop dance team. I had a lot of fun. I love dancing. I'm currently not a part of any team right now because, like I said earlier, I'm in grad school. And you'd be surprised with how much time grad school takes up. But when I'm done with grad school, I definitely want to join an adult cheer team. I still have such a passion for it. I feel like when I got into cheering, I got into it way too late, and I wish that I joined earlier when my friend first joined. But yeah. And since I keep talking about it, I'll let you know about grad school. So I am a currently second year PhD student. I won't tell you what university I go to, but it's a nice one. I am currently in the Africana department, or the Africana field, and my research is on fiber arts in Haiti. If you didn't know, I'm Haitian as well. And if you guys ever seen an astrology chart, the way that your plots are pointed, mine is a bucket or a bowl, and it just means that I'm very focused on one area. And I don't know if you could tell, but I am. I love doing fiber arts. I love studying fiber arts. Like, I can't get enough of this. In another video, I will talk about how I balance graduate life with fiber arts and all of that stuff, because I also take commissions, so I have to be strategic when it comes to time management. So I'll just talk about how and why I got into knitting in the first place. I got into knitting during my junior year of high school. I think the utmost reason why I started knitting was because I was very depressed and I just needed an outlet. I don't know. Middle school and high school were kind of just like, I don't know the right word, but it was very hectic. For middle school and high school, you know, you're going through like the regular changes that anybody goes through, like puberty and all that. But I was also going through a school change when it came to middle school, and then when it came to high school, I experienced a lot of loss in my life, and that was just very hard to deal with. That kind of set me into a spiral, and literally I would go home, sleep for hours, like more than 8 hours. It was really bad. I remember when I went to the summer youth program and this lady was interviewing me, and if you know, you know. They like ask you like little interview questions, and she was like, so what are your hobbies? And this is in high school. I literally had no hobbies because I was super depressed. All I was doing was sleeping. So I was like, sleeping? And the way she looked at me, and she went, girl, that is not a fucking hobby. She didn't say that verbatim, but you know, you get the idea. She was very like stern and started giving me a mini lecture on like how high school students always say sleeping and that's not a hobby. And I couldn't like tell her like, girl, every day I go home and but I say that to say like I feel like that was like sort of a wake-up call that like I needed something to do outside of like just wallowing in that depression. So I needed something to do with my hands. I needed something that would like just take my mind off of things, and I just started like obsessively looking at knitting videos on YouTube. I think I started off with like how to make a blanket, and that was it. So I will never forget this. That Christmas of junior year, I've been telling everybody, I want to get into knitting. I really want knitting needles. I want yarn, all of that stuff. I'll make you anything if you buy it for me. And so my mom and one of my high school besties got me my first pair of knitting needles and yarn, and I still have the needles and yarn to this day, and I'm so grateful and appreciative of both of them. So I got into clothes making in a similar sort of fashion. Like I said earlier, when you're in high school, you know, your body is changing. And so I didn't feel like I had a lot of clothes that like complemented my body. And even when I would go to like the stores and everything, I just couldn't find things that I felt comfortable in. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna start making clothes. And that was that. So just to go a little off topic, this is what the do-rag looks like finished. It's laying flat. I love how it came out. I love the color, and so did my client. And in the next clip, you'll see me modeling it. Please don't say anything. I'm not a model, okay? I'm just the designer. I just needed to send the video to the client so that they could see what it looked like. But yeah, that's how I got into knitting and fashion making. I then picked up crocheting because I didn't think that knitting was versatile enough for the type of clothes that I wanted to make. And I mean, now with like almost a decade of knitting experience and half a decade of crocheting experience, I could say that that's wrong. Both are pretty versatile and they have their own strengths and weaknesses in their own ways. And I absolutely love doing both. I don't understand the drama and the discourse between knitters and crocheters and the hate from both communities. I feel like people in either community just don't like fuck with the other one because they can't get over the learning curve, but I try to convince everybody. I try to convince everybody to pick up knitting and crocheting. Like, it's so fulfilling and gratifying to like create something slowly and see that process and how it builds up. But yeah, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you stick around.